switch on my brother, can't switch on my dog. If he good, then I'm good, then together we ball. I'm on the ground, but they want me to fall. Time to slide on the outs, I know who I'ma call. Winning, but I can't take a loss. On man, turn myself to a boss. Catch your leg and we gon' knock out this.
What's up with y'all, Saucer Mars TV back here with another video, and today we got a crazy transformation for y'all. As you can see, he's been growing out his hair for 4 or 5 months at this point. He's going to get a drop fade and we're going to shape up the top a little bit for him. So I'm going to begin this fade by pulling out the rose gold FX and just setting in a hard guideline. I usually don't do my fades like this, but he has so much hair growing out at the bottom just because it's been so long since he had a cut. Usually you can just flick up, but that's not the case with this one just because of how much hair he has in the lower area of his hair, just because it's been growing out for so long. So yeah, I'm just clearing out my area and just trying to get a neat guideline to start the fade. Now I'm going to pull up my 2 guard and I'm just going to clear area for the fade. This isn't going to be used to blend into the top, I'm just making room for myself to fade. This was actually a walk-in at the school. I've never cut his hair before this video. I just thought it would be a clean transformation because of, you know, his hair type, and I could tell he was getting something different. Now I'm going to set in my next guideline with the Enhancement lever open, and I'm just going to clear out that area, then start blending those two together by closing the lever slowly as I go down. Make sure you get this area well blended because this is going to set in the beginning steps of your fade, and it's just going to help the fade come all together in the end. Now I'm going to pull out the 1 guard all the way open and starting to fade into the top a little bit more. Just using the corner of the blade just so I don't push up the guidelines anymore. Then I'm going to close it all the way and hit it right under that just to bring the blend more together. So once I feel like I've got my work done with the 1 guard, I'm going to pull back out the Enhancement lever open and tilt the blade as if it were a half guard or 0 guard on the clipper. I'm just basically skipping that guard by tilting the blade. You can also use this for detail work. As you can see, I'm going up a little bit higher with it just to hit that area right there. Just make sure and always tilt the blade as much as you can, and then kind of just angle it down the more and more lower you go. So once again, same steps on this side. We're going to bald him out, setting in a hard guideline just so I can get an idea of how I'm going to shape this fade, just because he has so much growth at the bottom. And like I said, that 2 guard wasn't to blend all the way into the top. Once I shape up the top with the scissors and, you know, freehand it a little bit, then we'll pull out the 3 guard to blend it all the way into the top. Once again, number 2 guard, just clearing out the area for the fade. And look how I'm scooping the guard as if I'm not trying to dig into the top. That's going to maintain the shape of the fade and, you know, just keep the top like looking right from the front, because if you dig in too much with it, it's going to give that shape a weird like kind of cone shape to his head. So you want to always scoop out the more and more higher you get. So now we get the Enhancement lever open once again, 1 inch. Give yourself enough room to work with. Now we're going to begin blending those two together just by slowly closing the lever as we go down. Pay attention to how I'm using the corner of the blade just so I don't put in another guideline. especially when you're blending a guideline out, you always want to focus on using the corner. You never want to lay the whole blade flat on the head, because you're just going to end up putting in another guideline, unless you're just real advanced and it's something you're used to. But if you're a beginner, you're always almost going to put in a guideline like that. So now we got the one guard all the way open, and like I said, close it all the way up right under that. I feel like this side of the head, the hair didn't grow as thick, but we're going to make it work with how it is. So now we got the 1.5 guard, and I'm just trying to blend that 1 guard and the 2 guard together a little bit better with the in between. Then here goes the Enhancement, and I got the lever all the way open, freehanded, just trying to smooth out the blend. Like I said, this is replacing the 0 or half guard. And like I said, I feel like this side is a little lighter, like the hair doesn't grow as thick, because as you can see in the front, I hit it with the same guards, and it looks a little lighter towards the front area on that side. But now I pulled out the 1.5 guard on this side, because I think I skipped that step whenever I was hitting the other side, and I realized it, and I just came back to see if it made any difference. Now we're beginning to pick out his hair, and we're going to begin shaping it up with the scissors. He said he wanted a little more than the loose ends cut off, so I started off by just cutting the loose ends, and I kind of started working my way down, trying to get a solid shape, because I ended up having to cut a little bit more off just to get a good shape on it. To be honest, whenever I'm shaping curly hair like this, I don't have any particular technique at first. I usually like to start at the back of the head. I feel like I'm able to work forward and get a better shape if I do that than working from the front to the back. So yeah, I guess it's really what works for you. But now I'm going to pull out the number 3 guard, just trying to shape into that top some more. Notice how I'm going straight up into the curl pattern, just trying to not dig in, trying to avoid that cone shape like I said. I'm taking that 3 guard also in the front and kind of shaping up just so he doesn't have so much overhang when I go to line him up as well. When I began to shape his top, I was thinking about just doing it with the clippers and just freehanding it like that, but I felt like his curl pattern was so soft, it was better to just use the shears and kind of set it in a more solid shape with them. So notice how I'm really detailing with that number 3 guard, really trying to get it to flow into the top. Even though everything below it is blended pretty well, it's all about how it flows into the top. I feel like that's what brings a good fade to a great fade. And now I'm trying to help with that transition a little bit more. I pulled out the 2 guard right here, trying to hit any of the hair during that transition area. Trying to create a better flow. Now we got the 1.5 guard doing the same thing, just detailing, making sure I use the corner. As you can see, it was a dark spot in the front that I seen, and I just was kind of knocking that area out. Now I drop back down to the 1 guard, also using it for detail work, just hitting any spots I see. Once again in the back, as you can see, his hair grows at a side angle, so I got the blade angled kind of towards the left a little bit, just so I can hit the hair in its natural growth pattern, because you always want to cut against the grain when fading up. Now drop back down to the 1 guard open. And this is an area I've always wanted to work on and get better at. I feel like the back is probably the hardest part of the fade for most people, especially if they got a lot of wrinkles or a part where it indents, any indentions, it just makes it a lot harder. So I've been focusing more on my back as I've been in barber school. Now I'm just doing some detail work near that front area. Now I just put out the shears again, just trying to cut off any of the loose hairs I see from the front angle. I'm going to also do some shear over comb, just to smooth out that transition into the top. I would recommend getting you a white comb, especially if you cut a lot of people with like dark brown or black hair, because it contrasts from the hair, so you're really seeing what you take off at once, versus like having a black comb, you're not able to see the hair as good. It just makes the hair pop out and see how much you're taking off at once. Now we got the clipper lever closed, and I'm just kind of cutting the loose hairs off the front. I'm also going to do some clipper over comb just to help out as well. That little step will help you save a lot of time, especially when you get into the lineup, because if not, you'll be cutting off all the little overhang in the process, and you'll just have to keep going back and forth. So just do it at the beginning and save yourself some time. Now we got the skeleton FX just hitting the front lineup. First, I started on this vertical bar, then kind of worked my way over to the lineup. I'm trying to keep it natural, even though its corners are light. And I'm just going to, line it up as sharp as I can without taking it back any. Make sure to always brush the hair down in the front, especially with this hair type. Pull out one of my concealer pencils and just hit his front lining, just trying to give it some pop away from the skin. It's going to help the lineup stand out and just give it a contrast. This is basically the Barber magic pencil just for a lighter skin complexion. I ordered it off at Amazon. You can just look up a light concealer pencil. I'm not sure. I'll try and put the link down in the description. Now I'm just using my skeleton FX just to hit it and kind of smear it in, just so it isn't as of a noticeable line. You kind of want it to fade off into the skin. Now I'm going to begin the enhancement process with my cordless airbrush. I'm just using some semi-permanent dye, Kiss Express, and some alcohol mix. Now I'm going to come back with my hair fibers just to coat it and give it a less shiny look. As you already know, as I said in my past videos, the dye, it kind of leaves a shiny look, especially when you go out in direct sunlight or really bright lighting. It's going to kind of give a reflection and not look as like real hair. So that hair fibers just kind of helps it coat it and blend it in better with the actual hair. Now I'm just spending some time detailing the line, just blending in the white line a little bit more, the concealer pencil, and also hitting any extra overhanging fibers or dye. Now we got the razor out, just stretching the skin and cutting off any of the hair on his forehead that I see. Using the razor is pretty easy. You just gotta be confident with it, and also make sure you always stretch the skin no matter what direction you're going. just going to pull out my electric shaver. This is the Panasonic Arc 5, and just bald it out a little bit more at the bottom. As I always say, be careful the closer you get up to that fade area, just so you don't put in another bald line. The shaver line, if you put one in, that's probably the hardest guy line to get out, and you just want to avoid that altogether. So that's why I keep it super low and make sure I flick out the higher up I get. So as you can see, here's the final result. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I feel like we saved this man's life. He was going on 4 or 5 months without a cut. Yeah, just let me know what you think about it down in the comments. As you can see, that fade is well blended in my opinion. If y'all see anything, y'all let me know. I already know, I don't even gotta ask y'all, but I appreciate y'all watching. Anyways, this is Austin Mars TV. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'm out.